Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you're all safe and sound. According to our today's lesson planner, we have Unit 6, Bahlol. So before taking the entire story, we should know some of the words that are given in the word bank. Let's begin with our first word, that is console. It means to give comfort to somebody, especially who is distressed or sad. Next word is pantry. It means a small closed space which is connected to the kitchen and which is especially used for storing food. And the third one is tucked into. That means eating something hungrily or eagerly. Alright, so let's begin with our story. So our today's story is related to the author. The author is telling us the story of her new cook who was named as Bahlol. So she was actually satisfied with the cook, but she told us one of the incidents of her life when she got angry on her cook, Bahlol. So the incident began when late one afternoon, the area councillor and his wife came to visit her, and they kept on sitting in her home and they kept on talking, and they showed no signs of leaving her home, and they kept on sitting there till night. So obviously she had to thought of something to serve the guests. So what she did for serving the guests, she left the room and she went inside the kitchen and she asked Bahlol if there was some remaining food or if there were some leftover food from the lunch. But Bahlol simply said that there was no food in the house today. So they kept on searching for the food, and in the end they found an old tin which was without any label. So she said that she asked Bahlol to simply open the tin box and to feed it to the chickens first. And she said that if the chickens would survive, then we will feed the same food to the guests. So Bahlol agreed and he started preparing the food, and meanwhile the author asked the guests to join her on the dining table so that they could eat some food. All of them were sitting on the dining table when Bahlol came, and he served them with some food. And while he was serving the food, the author whispered in Bahlol's ear if he had fed the chickens, and Bahlol replied that yes madam, I have served the chickens, but actually he did not serve them. So he hurried out of the room to look after the chickens. After some time, Bahlol came in and he burst into the room and he started screaming and he said, "Madam and madam." So the author replied that what happened? What's the matter? And he said that the chickens are dead. So at that time, the author and the guest became so worried and they thought that it was the poisonous food that killed the chickens. And in the end, they had no chance. The author had no other chance, so she asked the guest to politely leave her home, as she could not do anything else except asking the guests to leave. So after the guests left her home, she sat miserably on the chair and started thinking of what just happened to her today. So she started searching after they left. After a couple of minutes, she started searching for Bahlol and found him sitting on the doorstep. After she found him, she asked him not to get worried and she tried to console him. She asked Bahlol to collect the dead chickens, to go at the backyard and to collect the chickens. But Bahlol simply said that there were no chickens at all. So she asked Bahlol that what do you mean by no more chickens? So Bahlol in the end revealed that the chickens were taken away by the fox. So this thing made the author very angry, because all this time she was thinking that the chickens were dead because of the poisonous food, but the truth was that they were carried away by the fox. So in the end, she took a deep breath and felt guilty because she knew that she had made her guests leave in distrust and she had not served them properly. So what could she do? She had no other option except apologizing from her guests. And this was the thing that Bahlol did not tell her before. But later on, when she came to know all this, she had some explaining to do and she had an apology to make. So this was our today's lesson. This was our today's story that was related to Bahlol and the author. I hope you understood today's lesson. Thank you so much for listening.